Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we dive in, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. You ever hear a stat so wild it makes you stop mid-scroll and just stare at the screen? That happened to me recently when I stumbled across something about XRP that honestly made my jaw drop. Apparently, 85% of XRP is already locked away, meaning only 15% is truly available to the market right now. Now let that sink in. That's not some random headline designed for clicks. This is a very real number, one that changes the entire conversation around XRP, price, and adoption and future. And it sent me down a rabbit hole so deep, I started feeling like Indiana Jones searching for hidden treasure. At first, I thought, come on, this has to be exaggerated. But the deeper I dug, the clearer it became. This isn't just crypto hype. This is scarcity economics 101. The same kind of supply crunches that have shaped history. Think about it like this. During the California gold rush in the 1800s, the real fortune wasn't made by finding mountains of gold. It was made because gold was scarce, hard to dig up, and everyone wanted it at the same time. Well, XRP today feels eerily similar, except instead of shovels and pickaxes, we've got escrows, institutional vaults, and some smart contracts quietly locking tokens away. Let's start with the giant in the room, Ripple itself. Ripple currently has 37 billion XRP locked in escrow. That's like a giant time-sealed vault slowly dripping coins into the market. Add another 3.5 billion XRP Ripple holds for operations, plus the stashes of early co-founders like Chris Larsen and Arthur Bruto, and you've already got nearly half the supply already spoken for. So before we even talk about DeFi projects, ETFs, or institutions, you realize the tradable pool is tiny. It's kind of like if half the world's oil was sealed under government control, leaving only the remaining barrels to trade freely. Prices would become incredibly sensitive to even the smallest shifts in demand. Now let's talk about the new players tightening the squeeze. Institutions. Funds like Purpose ETF, 3IQ, already stacking XRP in the millions. Doesn't sound like much compared to billions, right? But here's the thing. These funds aren't flipping XRP for a quick buck. They're vaulting it long-term, holding on behalf of investors. And then there's the ETF chatter. If a U.S.-approved XRP spot ETF ever lands, custodians will have to back every share with real XRP. That means even more tokens sucked off exchanges and buried in cold storage. We've seen this exact playbook with gold ETFs back in 2000s. The moment paper demand met real vaulted gold, prices didn't just creep up, they exploded. XRP could be staring down the same kind of inflection point. Now, here's where it gets even spicier. Exchange balances. Take Coinbase as an example. Not long ago, they held nearly 1 billion XRP in cold wallets. Fast forward a few months, and the number plummeted to about 32 million XRP. That's a 96% drop almost overnight in crypto terms. Why? Nobody really knows. Maybe institutions bought it up. Maybe it got shuffled to private storage. But one thing's clear, liquid supply in exchanges is drying up fast. It's like walking into a supermarket and suddenly finding entire aisles empty. When shelves get thin, people panic buy. And in crypto, panic buying often translates into vertical green candles. And then you got DeFi angle projects like MXRP and FXRP. They're creating yield-bearing versions of XRP that let holders put their coins to work in other ecosystems. Even if they hit a fraction of their goals, we're talking billions of XRP locked away. That's another massive slice of the pie gone, out of sight, out of circulation. To put it in perspective, imagine if suddenly homes in your city disappeared from the housing market. Prices would spike because fewer homes would be left to buy. That's the dynamic playing out with XRP. Except we're talking digital assets that institutions can gobble up faster than you or I can refresh coin market cap. Now let's be clear. Scarcity only matters if demand exists. You can have the rarest painting in the world, but if no one wants to buy it, it's just canvas and paint. But XRP demand isn't theoretical anymore. Between Ripple's partnerships with banks, the rise of tokenization pilots, and growing chatter of enterprise adoption, demand is building. So when you mix strong demand with shrinking supply, you don't need to be an economist to know where that equation points to. So where does that leave us? With a bombshell realization. The majority of XRP is already locked away, leaving a razor-thin slice for the open market. That's why this feels less like what if and more like a ticking clock. If institutions, ETFs, and DeFi protocols keep swallowing supply, XRP's scarcity story could rival gold's, maybe even surpass it in speed. Well, here's a quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research before making investment decisions. But here's what I know. I'll be watching XRP like a hawk, because history shows us that when supply gets scarce, big moves tend to follow. XRP scarcity era might already be here. Question, are you ready? If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, ring the bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you the truth about XRP, global banking moves, and the wealth transfer already unfolding. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, stay in the Republic.